Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Floyd Schofield, the American Texan, 135 pounder, only 22 years of age. He moved to 18 wins with 12 KOs, no draws, no defeats, and he fought the unbelievably tough Mexican 25-year-old RENE TELLEZ Giron. And this guy came in with 20 wins, 3 defeats. All 3 had been on points. And you can understand why. Because God Almighty, this Mexican kid took some punishment. He really did. You know, Floyd Schofield didn't just throw the kitchen sink at him. He threw the bathroom, the telly at him, the washing machine, you know, the tumble dryer. It all just bounced off this kid. Unbelievably tough chin on Giron. And he had moments. He had moments in this fight. Even though he lost it clearly, I had it 116, 111, which I think was the same as one of the judges. It was a unanimous decision, and rightly so for Schofield. Schofield, you saw everything that's good about him and a few things that definitely need to be worked on. The good things are, even though he's orthodox fighter, he switch hits effortlessly. Probably does it too much, to be honest with you. First round, he came out boxing orthodox. Second round, boxed the whole thing in southpaw stance, no problem. But then in the third round, he got clipped, and it wasn't really one punch. It was more of, I think it was a left hook that landed just above the ear, and that was the one that seemed to rattle him a bit. And this was right at the end of the round, and Giron was pouring it on, and suddenly you were thinking, Christ, we've got a fight on here, because for the first couple of rounds, you know, Floyd looked like he was outclassing the Mexican kid. But Giron hung tough. And after that scare and a real rocket from his father in the corner, his father trains him. I think Ronnie Shields is in the corner as well, the veteran trainer, very, very good trainer. Hall of Fame trainer. If he isn't, he should be, because he's a great trainer. But they were really going to town on Schofield, telling him, you know, don't fight this guy. Don't give him a chance to win. Box, use your speed, your superior skills. You know, all this stuff was good advice, because Schofield, when he lets his hands go, he's got, you know, when he finds his range, he finds his rhythm, he fires lovely, fluid punches, sits down on his punches a lot, but likes to get stuck in and, as he puts it, entertain the fans. And there was that scare in the third round. Now, he went back to, and don't get me wrong, he wasn't in any shape or form anything other than front-footed, Schofield. I mean, he was looking to hurt Giron with every single punch, and he was firing not just single pot shots, but combinations, and they were just bouncing off Giron. At no point did Giron look like he might go on the floor, even though he shipped a horrendous amount of punishment, and he always looked dangerous. He constantly moved forward. And when I say Schofield, I mean, I said Schofield was front foot. That's not entirely true. He did box on the back foot quite a bit as well and move around the ring. But he was able to, you know, more or less control Giron. But Giron was always a threat, always coming forward, heavy hands. Didn't mind, you know, whether he was taking it. If he would take 2 to land 1. It's the old line, you know. And this continued with, you know, Schofield winning almost all the rounds until the 11th round, when Schofield got a little bit involved again. There were moments when he was swapping punches and still staying in the pocket a bit too long. And he was really planting his feet to try and get the power to shift Giron. But Giron, quite content to, you know, stand there with him, try and get him to fight. When Schofield moved and, you know, gave him angles and little semicircles, not a problem. He was controlling the fight. But Giron, He would not go away. He just wouldn't go away. And this was a 12-round fight. And then in the 11th round it happened. He landed a scuffing sort of left hook, which was around the back of the head. And I think their legs got tangled. You couldn't quite see it on the... I watched this on TV screen, obviously. But it was a scuffing punch, and down goes Schofield. He's not really hurt. He's a bit shaken, but he knows where he is and everything. He gets up and he motions. That was a punch around the back of the head. But it's a 10-8 round for Giron. And that was a thing of beauty, that 11th round. What a great round that was. This was an exciting fight, because they then, Schofield refusing to bow down, then gets into it with Giron. And, of course, Giron, that's meat and potatoes for him. He loves it. He's just swarming all over him. Schofield, to his credit, only 22 years of age, probably hasn't got his man strength, quite content to stand there and bang with the older guy, although 25 is not ancient for the Mexican. But so you got two young lads, you know. Yeah, great stuff, great stuff. Brilliant 11th round. 12th round, again, quite an exciting round, but I thought Schofield edged it. Talking of punches around the back of the head, there was one incident in the 3rd round when Giron really did hurt. I think for the only time in the fight, he really did shake Schofield. And that was towards the end of the round, where Schofield actually turned his back and motioned to the referee that he'd been hit around the back of the head. And the referee sort of said, stop boxing. I mean, I think that's wrong. I think it was just an instinctive thing, but I think it was a mistake because Giron could have just clocked him. Schofield turned his back. The referee hadn't said stop boxing. I mean, that's inexperience for you right there. And again, when he got back to the corner after that 3rd round, Schofield's father gave him, you know, both barrels, so to speak. But the inexperience, I mean, at 22, this kid needs far more schooling, far more seasoning. Oscar de la Hoya, his promoter, was interviewed afterwards. And when he was asked about him, he said, I give him a C-, which is, you know, sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind, you know. You got to say, look, you're a great kid, you know, you've got a lot of talent, but you've got things to work on. Because Schofield is calling for Shakur Stevenson. Nah, it's way too early for that. Way too early. And he was saying, well, Giron hits harder than Stevenson and he's got a better chin and so on and so forth. I mean, even if that's true, the old, you know, skills pay the bills cliche applies. And Schofield hasn't honed his skills properly. He hasn't got the experience. To be honest with you, there's a little bit of doubt over his durability. I think once he gets his man strength, that question mark might go away. But when he was getting mauled, when he was exchanging punches, he did look shaken, not stunned, but although his legs, towards the end of that 3rd round, they looked a little bit shaky there. In fact, when he went back after that 3rd round, he tried to sit on his stool and missed it and sat on the canvas. So all of this stuff, you know, this type of 12-round baptism by fire is something that goes towards, you know, building a fighter, taking a young man with lots of potential, building him up, and, you know, eventually you fulfill your potential by putting yourself in a position where you're uncomfortable, where you have doubts, where you have to answer questions. And sometimes you don't answer those questions correctly. We know that fighters lose fights sometimes, of course, you know, early on in their careers, and then they go to have very, very successful careers. And I think that Schofield, he won this fight quite clearly, I thought, but definitely there's work that needs to be done. But he is a good prospect, very good prospect. I mean, he's 18-0 now, and he's saying he wants world titles. Oscar himself said, I don't see the rush. He's only 22, and I absolutely agree with Oscar. I mean, Oscar, for whatever you say about him being a bit crazy and making fun of him wearing fishnets and all the other bollocks, he knows boxing. He said in the interview, I've been a fighter. I give him a C-. We've got a lot of work to do, and he's got to learn from his mistakes. Absolutely agree. Totally agree. And that's probably why Oscar stayed in the promotional game for so long, because he does know boxers. He knows fighters. He was a terrific fighter himself. So let me know what you think about Schofield. Do you think he's contender or pretender? Or is the jury still out? Let's have a third option. For me, I think he's going to be a genuine contender. But again, I know I'm repeating myself here, but, you know, why rush him? Why rush a 22-year-old kid? It's nonsense doing that. You can wreck a career like that. And he will be a better fighter because of this 12 rounds with Giron. Giron himself, I mean, he's got some skills. He's teak-tough. He can be a great gatekeeper type. He'll get work, because especially against these elite prospects, because he's just such a tough little bastard. But anyway, let me know what you think. This was an entertaining fight. It was on DAZN, a Gold Boy promotion. Go and have a look at it. Tell me what you think, and leave your comments below. Thank you, as always, for watching. And if you can subscribe to the channel if you're new, you'd be doing us a great favour, building up the channel, of course. And the old like button, give it a click. Bang. Yeah, come on. No. Spread the love. Spread the fistic love. Come on. Nice one. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.